Hello, my name is Daniel Daly, and welcome to the Basketball Soapbox. Before we continue, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. As we continue our NBA preview in the Eastern Conference, at number 13, we have the Charlotte Hornets. Last year's playing participant who lost by a whopping 29 points to the Atlanta Hawks may have taken a step back in my opinion, but still have important building blocks to move towards the future. How they handle those building blocks in Buzz City under Michael Jordan and Mitch Kupchak could be the determining factor between returning to the playoffs or continuing a 7-year playoff drought. Starting off, the Hornets decided to bring back a familiar face to their sidelines, head coach Steve Clifford. Yes, the last coach to get the Hornets back to the playoffs in 2016, with Kemba Walker, Nicholas Batum, and Al Jefferson has returned. The man that led the Hornets to their highest win totals with 48 since Paul Silas with 49 back in 2000. Making the playoffs with the Hornets and recently Orlando in 2019 and 2020, this guy knows how to get a young team into the playoffs. Bringing back his defensive approach where the Hornets finished 23rd in defensive rating is a desperate need for attention. This team isn't built defensively, but that's Steve's calling card, and this team somewhat has to meet in the middle. Looking at their lineup, the starting lineup goes with LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, PJ Washington, and at the big man I inserted Mark Williams, the rookie out of Duke. Off their bench, they have James Bouknight, Cody Martin, who they just extended, Kelly Oubre Jr., Jalen McDaniels, and Mason Plumlee. LaMelo Ball, who I've compared to Penny Hardaway, will continue to lead the charge at point guard. And anyone laughing at that comparison, look at their first 2 years in the league and tell me that's not on par. Despite not being athletically the same as Penny, I see the same style and flares to the game. Ball is a better shooter from distance upon coming into the league. That was a question, but he has been able to knock it down at a good percentage. In this league, you need to rebuild your franchise around three things: a special point guard, a scoring wing, or a versatile big man. And Ball fits one of those three categories for me. Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, and Kelly Oubre provide nice scoring options and the veteran presence that's needed for a young squad. Now, the issue in their front court might have been solved with the draft pick Mark Williams. The Duke product and former ACC Defensive Player of the Year provides a big man who can provide shot blocking and finishing around the basket. The passing of LaMelo Ball and potential lob threat of Williams should make epic highlights on a night-to-night basis out of their pick and roll, allowing flexibility next to him at the 4 with PJ Washington and Jalen McDaniels. Miles Bridges and Montrezl Harrell would have pushed this team into the playoffs for me, but unfortunately, due to legal matters, Miles Bridges, facing domestic abuse charge, lost potentially a $100 million deal this summer. And Harrell, who faces felony drug charges for trafficking marijuana, is still awaiting his court date, which is wild to me and very unfortunate for Buzz City, because Charlotte was actually putting together a nice young core and vets through the draft and free agencies, but have seemed to hit a roadblock potentially here. Should they trade Hayward and Rozier and push to get good lottery position and add to their young core, or make a push for the play-in? In my opinion, I know small market teams want to push to make the playoffs, in this case the play-in, but trade Rozier, who has a favorable 3 years left on his contract, and Hayward, who has 2 years left on his deal, to open up minutes for the young guys. Yes, it will be a step back building around Ball and the young guys, but on this roster, that should be the focus. How they will accomplish that will be interesting, because they could wait until the offseason and pair one of their draft picks with Hayward, who will be on an expiring deal at $30 million. Could they potentially go after a guy like Pascal Siakam, who I think will be a nice star power, that guy that can build with his young core, or stretch during, go after Donovan Mitchell, but who knows? The Hornets have been able to hit on a couple of draft picks and a couple of acquisitions in free agency, but the big question is, can they lead a star to push them to the playoffs? This will ultimately be a league pass team for me. I don't have them making the playoffs. They'll put up a lot of points. They'll put up a lot of highlights with Ball at the lead, but defensively in a much stronger Eastern Conference, I see them falling short of the play-in. And depending how that goes, we'll see if that's decided by choice.